We naturally assume we are navigating an open-ended universe, viewing ourselves as the sovereign authors of our destiny, freely drawing our path through open space. The source text of A Course in Miracles describes reality as a meticulously designed, mandatory curriculum. Everyone is required to take it. This is a journey toward an inevitable, predetermined destination. There's a specific endpoint to this existence that you cannot avoid reaching. The human ego instinctively rebels against this rigid structure. We generate our own anxiety by pretending we can opt out of these rules, struggling to maintain elective control where none exists. Awakening represents a fixed requirement of our existence. It's a threshold that can be postponed for a time, but it can never be bypassed. Our immediate defense against this curriculum is the claim of free will. We believe that if the course is required, our agency must have been stripped away. Within this framework, free will applies strictly to timing. This straight line is your fixed destination. The lessons are set, but the student can procrastinate. These chaotic detours represent delay. We take endless side trips, but every thread eventually converges on the exact same endpoint. We spend most of our lives using this temporal power to manufacture unnecessary suffering. We wander through these loops, equating the postponement of truth with actual freedom. Since your arrival at the destination is guaranteed, your only true daily choice is a matter of pacing. You can choose to stretch out your suffering and ignorance, or you can decide to accelerate your arrival at reality. Once the illusion of ultimate control is neutralized, the focus shifts to the actual task of the curriculum. We usually imagine enlightenment as something to be built or newly acquired, as if peace and love were skills to learn from scratch. The actual work is entirely destructive. It relies on the via negativa, the path of subtraction. This massive stone structure represents the psychological defenses we have built defensively around a center that is already glowing. These walls are constructed from fear, guilt, and the desperate need to protect an isolated identity. We have spent lifetimes piling these blocks high to keep the truth out. This creates the central paradox of the course. You cannot be taught love, because love is your baseline state. The curriculum is only interested in removing the obstacles to the awareness of its presence. True realization requires the sacrifice of every false wall you have ever built. Your natural inheritance was merely buried under the rubble. It was never absent. Every psychological block we remove is rooted in the single concept of fear. We operate under the assumption that love and fear are equal, opposing forces. We visualize our lives as a war of duality, with these two powers locked in a struggle for control of our minds. The curriculum shatters this assumption with the law of the all-encompassing. If a fundamental state, like truth or love, is truly absolute, it cannot possess an opposite. There is no mathematical room for a competing force. This means fear possesses no actual substance. Because it attempts to oppose the all-encompassing, it is revealed as an ontological hallucination. It is a shadow with no source. The exhausting war you have been fighting within yourself has been entirely fictitious. You have been waging a battle against a phantom that never existed. When we strip away metaphors and psychological defenses, we reach the bedrock equation of existence. The first half of the equation establishes that truth is indestructible. Anything genuinely real is completely impervious to threat, decay, or loss. The second half establishes that the false is absolute nullity. Everything that causes terror, anxiety, or pain is inherently unreal. These two absolutes create an inescapable safety. If the real cannot be threatened, and the unreal does not exist, the storm can only pass harmlessly through you. There is nothing left to fight, and nothing real to protect. Accepting this equation marks the end of the mandatory curriculum. It leaves you in the absolute silence of the peace of God.